Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Lesser Known Classics. This is episode number 2997, and episode number 2891. Well, basically it has some issues of Deathstroke and a trade for the Ray. Yeah, he's a character who also features on TV. So, for Deathstroke, we're discussing issues 35 to 47, along with annuals 3 and 4 of the series. Oh, but one of these issues is written by the series regular writer, Marv Wolfman. As a matter of fact, there's one issue, also discuss issue 02, because that ties in some stuff going on here. The one issue not written by him is written by Stephen Grant. I find that interesting. Yes. So, now, I should also point out, though, the series is going to go under, like, a name change. Basically, it's that's the Terminator until issue number 38. And then, sorry, issue 0 for a brief period of time. It's going to be called Deathstroke the Hunted. And then, after the Hunted wrapped up, then... Okay, so, right after the Hunted storyline is wrapped up, it's just simply called Deathstroke vs. Series. So, in the very first issue, we have Deathstroke is just hanging out some club. By the way, the artwork here is done by, for this issue, is Lunch and Pell, just a guest artist. Hangs on a club, just hits on a woman. Beats someone up. He, of course, goes to the hospital. And of course, they will Deathstroke out because he's having these massive bruises and cuts. And he's like, "You see any bruises on me? No? Then I can go." Yep, he leaves. Let's stop here with none. Of course, also Deathstroke gets into a fight with Billy Wintergreen. He gets upset because basically the way about his kids. So, and basically it's about sleeping suicide. Basically, it's able to walk it off and, well, get him basically his head back in the game. And it's a nice standalone issue for 35. Moving on to 36. 36 is called Honor and Judgment. This is Marv Wolfman with Naito Telly. Basically, they're in London for an issue. Yes, Slay goes to London. He's a mercenary. Of course, basically, he goes over the world. So yeah, it's a standalone issue. He works with some British mercenaries. He's still wearing his awesome George Perez outfit, which I still think he should be wearing it now. And then it leads to a story called Next Issue Reaper. Goes. And this issue here, he goes to Iraq. So it's like, okay, we're back to globetrotting here. So last issue went to London. Now he's going to Iraq issue because basically he's with his group. And this guy called Catalyst, who Deathstroke fights him here. And we move on to issue 38, which is actually the conclusion of the story arc. Yes, where Deathstroke runs into his old lover, Pat Trace, a.k.a. the Female Vigilante. Which, fun fact, Marv Wolfman created officially 3 of them. Yes, of the official Vigilantes, he created Adrian Chase, his brother Dorian Chase, and Pat. Yeah, this sort of is the finale of Deathstroke's globetrotting here. Yeah. So he's on his little mission here. Pat gets involved with the stuff here going on in this issue. And the issue ends there, but we're not done just yet because next up is Deathstroke number 0. Yes. This is the prologue to this storyline. Where we have Sergio Castelletto on the artwork, who has been a freaking collaborator of Chuck Dixon's. Chuck Dixon has mentioned he actually is currently living as a neighbor of his right now. Yep, he lives in Tampa. I don't know where in Tampa because I'm not going to ask that because that's personal information. But all I know is that they're basically next neighbors now, along with Graham Nolan. So yeah, Deathstroke is on the run here. It's a sort of a multi-issue story. Starts with this issue here. It continues on to issues 39 to 44. That's the whole. I think it ends with 45. Is with the whole Hunter story. Basically, Deathstroke on the run. And of course, Pat Trace gets involved. His ex-wife Adeline gets involved too. Yeah, and get this. In issue 39, he gets confronted by Green Arrow. Actually, it was 40, but 39 basically was the last one they called this one. But yeah, it's a good team issue between Green Arrow, who's, by the way, still wearing the Mike Grell costume. Yeah, he's still wearing the Mike Grell costume. I think this was set when Mike Grell was on the book. Yes. So then, of course, wearing red. Yeah, where he has to jump to the wedding. Actually, no, I thought it was issue 39. Nope, it was actually, I think it's 41. Yeah, I misremembered it. So we're taking this woman in red here. Deathstroke goes into a wedding to basically kill the bride. Oh yeah, and it's like Clarice. Yeah, and then of course basically she stops him and of course he walks off. Yep. Yeah, so basically he's on the run, and that led into issue 0. And now we're on Deathstroke the Hunter, where he's being hunted by, get this, Bronze Tiger and Deadshot. You're like, really? Yeah, really. You're like, that's interesting. Hunted by 2 people who are noteworthy assassins. Well, Bronze Tiger hasn't killed anybody in years. Also, if you notice in this issue, he does not wear his iconic mask. Nope. Yeah, here. John's really wrote it in the Suicide Squad book where he's always been very hesitant to wear the mask because it's a bit of a mental thing with him. Mm-hmm. Oh, issue 40 is one done by Stephen Graham. And the Hunted story arc, well, was actually 40 to 45, but that's very much where the story ends. Basically, he's on the run, and it does get wrapped up by issue 45. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was Ravager, and of course, also, get this. This issue here, issue 45, during the course of this very story arc, at the finale, the mother of Deathstroke's daughter's mom, Sweet Elise, she gets killed in the finale for this story arc. Yeah, she does. Is there any other deaths besides this one? Well, they also kill off a character named Squirrel. He's a character been associated with Deathstroke since, like, issue 4. And they just killed him off here. Probably because, basically, Mark Ruben had no plans for him. So, yeah, yeah, also with Sarge Steel as well, of course, Deathstroke, basically. And then here's thing, issue 42, we have a guest appearance issue by, of all people, Guy Gardner. Yeah, he has a fighting him in this issue. Also by a character named Crime Lord, who turns out to be Steve Deaton in Doom Patrol. fighting members of the League of Assassins, and yeah, he's fighting his own daughter. And Sweet Lily herself is basically like, oh, by the way, the Ravager in the storyline, a guy by the name of Wade DeForge, who is, I kid you not, this guy is Deathstroke's brother. Yes. He is Deathstroke's half-brother. Oh, and the reason why? Probably because basically Deathstroke's mom cheated on his father. Oh yeah, and the guy's dead. He got killed off in the half issue. Yeah, by the way, who wrote the half issue? Jeff Johns. Yeah, my guess is because Jeff Johns had no use for the character, so. And of course, Teen Titans get involved in here too. And then with the very next issue, it just called Deathstroke for the remainder of the series. And then the next issue, it's just basically called Connections. It's basically about Deathstroke being in prison. Of course, his wife is involved here too. Pat Trace gets involved with these two issues in particular. It's a quick little two-parter. And then, like, okay, so get this. The reason I'm stopping 47 because 48 is part of a multi-issue story arc. Well, excuse me, a multi-issue crossover known as the Crime Lord Syndicate War. With issue 48 of this book, continuing New Titans number 122, Dark Stars 32, and concluded in District 49. Yep. So, but we're not done just yet, per se, when it comes to Deathstroke. Nope, not yet. Well, there's still also the two main aims of the series. And number 3 is basically definitely set in the future. It's like a future version of Deathstroke who just becomes basically the way he is in the future. Marvel wrote it with Ed Baines in the artwork. And number 4 is basically, well, this one involves basically his brother. And this also involves basically Adeline. She actually was Vigilante in the story. And we also get a chance to detail a little bit more of basically his romance with his wife. Where she was actually his captain. Call her Captain Kane. And she's like, no, that's not Captain Kane to you. It's Mrs. Slade Wilson. And these two had 2 kids together. Yep, and the whole thing with this annual here, the opening story here, is basically Deathstroke's kind of in a way backstory. The backup story is all about Slade. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and apparently this takes place after issue 50, but I'll discuss that another time. But it's going to be quite interesting to discuss basically the remaining issues of this book, which is not much. Not much at all, but the annual itself was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's an excellent annual that Marvel Movement does. With Octavio Carolino on the artwork. But we're not done just yet. Next up we have is the Ray. This is a brand new Ray. He is not the original Ray per se. Oh no, I think he's the second Ray. Of course, it's discussing the very first volume for the Ray, written by Jack C. Harris, artwork by Joe Quesada. Yes, as in the guy who created Ninjak, Azrael, and the architect behind One More Day. Yep, he worked on this book with his gorgeous cover here. Now, this features a brand new Ray, Ray Terrell, who is not the original Ray. Oh no. So, the first Ray, who's also known as Neon, member of the Freedom Fighters, he is the original Ray. He first showed up in also Squad number 60. Yeah, he's a fairly new character. Yeah, Langford Terrell. He's mostly been around since the late 80s. He's not like he was definitely part of the original. The guy had been around since. Actually, it would be like the third one because it was also Ray for Quality Comics, known as Happy Terrell. Langford Terrell was the most original iconic one. He actually first showed up in Justice League America number 107. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if in case you who originally created Langford Terrell, it was the original Happy Terrell, the one from Earth 2. This was a creation by Will Eisner. So yeah, the original Ray, the way they made him in the 40s, was a creation of Will Eisner. You think, wait, Will Eisner? That name sounds familiar. Didn't he create another very popular character we do know about? Yep. That character being the Spirit. Yep. Danny Colt. So, yeah, this is a brand new character who shows up in this very issue, and, well, he kind of gets his powers to this whole book. We debut a character in the Commonwealth, the Candleman, who's like a recurring character of this book, who's only in this one miniseries, and he's in like issue 0. It's like he's here to help establish the book itself. We also get first appearance of Hank Terrell, who is Ray's cousin. Jenny Jordan, who is she? She is, I believe, she's supposed to be like his girlfriend, like a love interest. Yeah, and there's also now this book introduces his mom. His mom is Natalie Terrell, but she is like introduced to the very next volume for the series. Yeah, he becomes basically the Ray. The end of this book, believe it or not, was Christopher Priest. Yep. Mostly put, it's just basically him just trying to establish his own as the Ray. And you can thank Joker's over design his iconic outfit, which kind of looks like a member of the basically a member of a band. But this is the most iconic outfit for the character. Let's get a better look at the costume here so I can show what the guy looks like. Well, here it is. That's the outfit. Which you gotta admit, it's a really cool looking outfit. I even love the helmet, which the helmet itself is made unchanged. I think this one was also. And then here's the thing, he fights his first villain issue 4 of this miniseries, where he fights Dr. Polaris. Yes, Dr. Polaris. And he's basically the main villain of the last 3 issues of this book. And then he pops up in the next volume for a couple issues, and that's it for him fighting the Ray. But it's an excellent book. I love this book. It was amazing. It's a shame, basically, Joker decided to do the very next volume for the series. Oh no. That was on my completely different creative team. Coming out a year after... Yes, 1 year after the previous book concluded. Yes. Actually, no. Let's see. The final issue was released in July. It started in February and concluded in February 1992, included in July of 1992. But it's overall an excellent book. I'd recommend it. It's going to be the first of 3 volumes discussed with Ray. Next volume is going to be the longest, which is going to be 28 issues. Yes, 28. And then came the 3rd volume for the series, which I will discuss later on, which was part of the new published in the New 52. And this was leading to something that went absolutely nowhere. No, seriously, I'll discuss this later on when I discuss this book, because it is quite fascinating what the plan was for this character. As part of a series of mini-series that was supposed to lead to something, and it went nowhere. It's like this was supposed to lead to another series, but nothing happened. I'll discuss that when I discuss Volume 3, but Volume 3 is interesting because it's a Christopher Priest book, and I love Christopher Priest books, which are amazing. Oh, I give the Ray Volume 1 a 9 out of 10. Love the art for this book. It's not exactly the book people think of when people think of Joker Size Time of DC Comics. Usually the only book people think of is probably Azrael. But it's another book he worked on. He also worked on a book called The Crucible. He did a couple of questions of Quarterly. He did Ash. He did a Danger Girl special. Excuse me. He apparently also worked on a book called Spellbinders. Spelljammer. Number 8. Yeah, apparently this was probably his first credited work he worked on. But yeah, I think when it comes to him at the time of DC, he didn't do very much. Not really, no. Not a lot. But yeah, not much to say about these two books. Deathstroke got that roughly a 9 out of 10. So next time I talk about both these two books, Deathstroke we finished up, and The Ray, I'll start Volume 2 for the book. For Deathstroke, when I come back, it's quite interesting because here's the thing. There's like 11 issues left to discuss for the whole entire series of Deathstroke. You're thinking, really? Yeah, really. Like, because the book was only 60 issues. Yeah, so basically there's like 11 more to go, and then I'll be done with Deathstroke. Yep. And I can move on to something else. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Oh, before I continue, before I end this video, for The Ray, I already discussed basically about the artist. What about the writer, Jack C. Harris? Did he work on any books like this one? He did some issues of Adventure Comics. Secrets of Haunted House. He was writer of Sergeant Rock. Showcase probably the issues that feature Hawkman and Adam Strange. Yep. I think most of them working on Hawkman stuff. He did mention a Superman Family, which will be interesting to discuss later on, but he also was the writer for Wonder Woman. Yep. So I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be Just Beyond. Yep. Bye.